Hey everyone, it's Dr. Chantel here, and just hopping on here real quick to share some thoughts and some things that are on my mind in terms of post secondary pathways and skills based hiring and higher education in general. This is obviously not the same quality that I normally do, not the same setup. Just thought I would get on here on my phone and just talk for a few minutes about something that I saw today that really kind of got me thinking about some things in terms of the higher education landscape that we're in right now. And so this was kind of, I think, the perfect opportunity to do that. But anyway, so as I was finishing up my YouTube work today, I came across a channel called Degree Free. And as someone who has 3 degrees and I've seen the value of higher education in my life and the lives of those around me, I was quickly intrigued by the title of this channel. And going through their videos, they talk about how college is not the only path to success. True, obviously. And how it's kind of a waste of money and does not guarantee a job, and that you should drop out, or if you're thinking about dropping out, you should drop out and do it. And they actually call students who drop out, not dropouts, but they say that they break out of college, I guess, to break out of the system of college. And they just really kind of encourage students to learn a skill. Very true. Good thing to do, regardless of college or not. And they encourage students to just get any job and to go to an apprenticeship or learn a skill, like I said, or start a business. And they kind of have this framework of, if you don't go to college, here's what you should be doing. And I see, the point of their channel, but I think a lot of that advice is very dangerous, particularly because a lot of the issues that we're seeing right now within higher education are not on the universities, they're on the employers. And so it is the employer that has really always valued, since the beginning of the Ivy League, since the beginning of higher ed, has always valued students and candidates that have a college degree. And I don't think this is changing. And I think that's where a lot of the focus needs to be, is that the universities are just kind of doing what they're told in terms of preparing students to hopefully on their own get a job. An institution is not a job guarantee. Having a college degree does not guarantee you anything besides a piece of paper and qualification. That's what a college degree is. It is a qualification. It's not a training ground. It's not a place for you to be guaranteed a job. And I think the expectation of college to do all these magical things for you and to get you a job is where a lot of people are being frustrated right now. And I think COVID and going fully remote for classes really kind of revealed to people that, I can't take this kind of online environment. There has to be another way. And, unfortunately, a lot of employers, though, are still stuck in the past, or still kind of that old school thinking, and they're wanting people who have college degrees. And I think it's a very dangerous thing to recommend to students who are already in college or have some credits that they've earned, to encourage them to drop out. And actually, if you drop out, you're going to have to start paying your student loans back anyway. But if you're in school, they can be in forbearance. And then once you graduate, you have 6 months before you have to start paying them. And so encouraging those who already can't afford it to drop out and begin incurring that student loan payment like that, I think is a very dangerous thing to say. I think, in the least, encouraging students to go to a community college in a high demand kind of STEM field and get an associate's degree, and then from there go get a certificate or go work for an employer for more education for a bachelor's degree is the way to go, versus just telling them to drop out. And that being the end all be all. On top of that, most students who do drop out will end up having to work a minimum wage job anyway, and will already be kind of thrust back into having to pay the student loans. And so trying to pay student loans on a minimum wage salary on top of other expenses like car payment, probably statistically, rent, groceries, food, I think that's just not very good advice to be telling them to do, on top of, okay, go to an apprenticeship or start a business or go to a boot camp and learn a skill. Because what do all of those things have in common and require? Money. You need money to learn a skill. You need money to go to a trade school. You need money to start an apprenticeship. Like, I just think it's bad advice. And the research is still very clear that those who have a college degree are generally always outliers, earning more than those who don't. And employers are still having that bias toward those who have a college degree. So I think the smart thing to do would be to tell students that, it's okay if you can't complete all the college right now. It's okay if you need to take a break, but to do not have any college at all, I think is a very dangerous thing to say. And it's on the employer to really figure out, how do we become more equitable as an employer, and how are we hiring to reflect that equity? But the university is not a training ground. It's a qualification. The goal of higher education has always been for students to become critical thinkers. It's to a place to engage and enlighten the mind. It's a place to engage in discussion and be in kind of this academic banter and debate with your classmates. It's not for you to be guaranteed a job. It's a qualification. And I think the expectation of college to guarantee all these things that it was never meant to do is what's hurting a lot of people. And you have channels like Degree Free that are encouraging this. Of course, colleges aren't scotch-free. I think the tuition is an issue, but encouraging students to go the most financially feasible way possible, like through community college and going through different state programs. Like here in Tennessee, we have Tennessee Promise, which is where the state of Tennessee will pay for you to go finish your degree after you do 2 years at community college. I think community college is fantastic for students who have no idea what they want to do and need more time. There's no downside to going to community college. You get your gen eds out the way. You can save money and then have a state pay for you to go finish your degree. Absolutely. Or you don't have to even go beyond an associate's degree. You can get an associate's in something in the STEM field, and then from there go get an industry recognized credential and work for an employer, and they might even pay for you to finish your degree. But I think there's a lot of other options besides telling students to flat out drop out and celebrating that. I think that's very dangerous. They're going to be worse off financially anyway. I see what this channel is trying to do, but I think there's just better alternatives. And I think that same energy needs to be placed on the employer, because a lot of employers are still very behind the times, are still hiring with those with a degree, even if it says no degree required in the job description, or if it says 5 years of experience in lieu of a degree. They're still wanting a degree, and there's a lot of reasons for that I won't get into in this video. But that's where a lot of the frustration is. I'm frustrated with the employer. I think what I'm seeing in my work is that the employers are slow to change. They're just relying on these applicant tracking systems that are already filtering out candidates that don't meet their criteria, especially educationally. So that's a huge frustration. There should be more emphasis on skills-based hiring. Or we're going to help you get a credential or a certificate at the occupation or employer level. But I think to throw all the blame on the university and say that it's a waste of money or a scam is not fair. It's not accurate. Yes, it's expensive. It's a lot of money. Is it worth all the money for these private schools that have huge endowments? Probably not. Can you get the same quality at a state school or at a 2-year community college and then having the government pay for your bachelor's degree? Absolutely. An employer, as we see, just wants to see that you completed a degree. They don't really care where you got it from on the bachelor level as much. So all that to say, I thought this channel was very interesting. Obviously, I agree to some extent, but for the majority, I don't, in terms of let's get after the employers. Let's have the expectation for college being a place to enlighten your mind and being a qualification. That's what it is. It's a tool in your toolkit. A college degree is. It's not the key to the world. It's not the keys to your next big job. It's a qualification. It's to help you get there. It's not a waste of money. I think there's ways to do it strategically that unfortunately at 18 and 19 years old, we don't educate students on how to do that, and their parents don't know either. But it's not a waste of money, and I think encouraging students to drop out and kind of celebrating that, and they're going to be worse off financially, probably, and most likely minimum wage jobs that aren't family sustaining. Some of them have families and are caretakers. That's just, I think, very dangerous advice. So all that to say, let's get after these employers, because that's where I think it's going to start. And let's hold the university accountable for what its main goal and purpose is to enlighten the mind, is to prepare students for being productive members of society. The stats are clear, the research is clear that those who go to college are more engaged civically, they are more likely to vote. There's so many benefits of that, but telling them to drop out and celebrating that is not very wise, in my opinion.